Call Peace in War Times. This video is called Nature Sent Afro Oonoo, and yes, this will be a series, and it's going to be some new, fresh eyes put on some old information in order to make this a very, very special series of videos that's coming out. And that means a lot of intellect and inspiration and revelation was given by Auntie Jutah, aka Jupiter. I want to thank her because she indeed has been so gracious to bestow upon me the things that I asked for and things I didn't even know were even available. So with that in mind, let's begin. Listen to Sound Right Cosmic Reason. In this presentation, we shall look into the astrological background of Afroo Oonoo. Since we don't have his time of birth, this writer can't go as deep as he would like. However, he can still make do to make his points. Let this be remembered well. We do know he was born in Oliver, Georgia. Oliver equals 9 in the gematria. 8136, 8136. Let's look at the etymology of Oliver. Masculine personal name, medieval lore, the name of one of Charlemagne's peers, friends of Roland. French, Olivier. Low German, Alfiha, literally elf host, elf army from elf, see Alf Harry, host army, Harry. It is cognate with Anglo-Saxon name Al-Efir. The form in Old French was influenced by Olivier, olive tree, end quote. Listen to Sound Right Reason. Let's break this up a bit. Let's define elf first. Elf, a noun, one of a race of powerful supernatural beings in Germanic folklore. Old English, El, Mercian, Kentish, Northumbrian, plural West Saxon, spirit, fairy, goblin, incubus from Proto-Germanic. Alb, source of Old Saxon, Alf, Old Norse, Alfred, German Alp, evil spirit, goblin, incubus, origin unknown. According to Watkins, possible from Abho, white. Used figuratively for a mischievous person. 1550s. Listen to reason. We know that elves are small, and this is just a corrupted version of the pygmy gods who were indeed supernatural. Listen to reason. The flesh and blood gods and goddesses of the top half of the Smack Circular order during the time that the top half exists are superhuman and supernatural in the sense that they possess mental and natural physical powers far beyond human beings as we know human beings today at the time of this writing. And they likewise possess spiritual powers far beyond what human beings have today. Therefore, it can correctly be stated that their forms were superhuman too, because of the fact that their species had powerful attributes on their side and backs which were not inherited by the Ethiopian and post-Moses races. So then we humans evolved and came from the superhuman form as well as the standard human form of the first members of the Ethiopian race. By 600,000 years before the end of evolution, the Tonkanos, the Ethiopian race, had also lost the ability to live in water as well as on land, because it is so that their gill system had become tonsils and their boy system had turned to appendices plus the web of their fingers. Nature Book 2, page 154 in part. The second thing to look at definition is olive tree. There are many meanings of the olive tree. It is a symbol of friendship and reconciliation, cleansing and healing, light, victory, and richness, and above all, a sign of peace. It is a plant which should be treated with reverence as it holds many spiritual gifts. Olive means longevity. Olive trees themselves are renowned for living for thousands of years. Eating their fruits was meant to be a sure way for humans to live a long, healthy life too. This is born out of today. Without the years of research, we are still encouraged to eat the most historical fruits and its oil. Olive oil has been proven to contain healthy fats which reduce cholesterol and lower the risk of heart disease. Listen to reason. This book is about eternal nature and its members and parts. This outline treatise on infinite nature is written and designed to impart very vital knowledge to all peoples on orb earth, that they may find the understanding and wisdom needed to live in peace and harmony with each other and live longer and better lives and much greater mental, physical, economic security by nature, by learning the knowledge of nature and the positive and adhering to it. People on planet Earth will become healthier and have a better sense of justice and equality in dealing, in part. Nature Book 1, page 15 in part. Not only is olive oil symbolic of noon science, but look at the gematria and numeric value. Olive oil is 99, 45, 117, and 45. There's one more thing this writer wanted to focus on. The Germanic elf origin was dwarfish and malicious. Compare elf, lock, knock, and hair. Old English, nightmare, hiccup, thought to be caused by elves. In the Middle Ages, they were confused to some degree with fairies. The more noble version of the version begins with Spencer, nonetheless a popular component in Anglo-Saxon's name, many of which survive as modern given names or surnames, such as Alfred, Elf Council, Elf Friend, Elf Fairy, Elf Ruler, Eldridge. Also women's names such as Elf Beauty, Elf Lock, Hair Tangle, especially by Queen Mab, which was not unfortunate to dissensions, according to Robert Ned's Glossary of Shakespeare. It's from 1592. Here are a few pictures. Of course, we know that the Ethiopian race is the only original race with true locks of hair. It is clear the Irish created a myth around our ancestors to create their version. Remember this well. If we combine Afroo Oonoo's names equal 9. Johnny Eugene Brown Afroo Oonoo comes out to 9. Look at that. All those 9s. Ain't it beautiful? Also, there are 18 letters in his name as well. Johnny, 7 letters. Eugene, 7. Brown, see, look at that. 7. 18, baby. You can't lose. One plus 8 equals 9. Afroo Oonoo's zodiac sign was a Sagittarius, which equals 9. The ruling planet of Sagittarius is Jupiter. This also equals 9.
Today.
Life is good. Life is good.
The zodiac house that Jupiter rules is the 9th house. Look at that. And it deals with higher education level. It also deals with travel, law, higher learning, philosophy, which I told you that. If you go back and watch the quick guide, the mirror videos going forward, I show y'all how to contact these orbs. I made contact. This is why y'all seeing this flow of information. I'm not sitting here trying to blow my own horn or make you think that it's all coming from me, because it's not. That's not in my nature to be a braggart and all this stuff that you see people pretending that they are intelligent when they know they're getting it from somewhere else. Jupiter is the planet of justice. Whenever one culture conquered another in the ancient Near East, the planet Jupiter was given the name of the chief god of a conquering tribe. Jupiter was the planet linked to the natural order and divine right of kings. Why would this be? Jupiter is the only second brightest planet after Venus. However, Venus is forever tied to the sun. She can only be seen in the east before sunrise or the west after sunset. Jupiter's orbit, on the other hand, is independent, stately, and measured. He can soar high overhead along the ecliptic, the brightest object in the midnight sky, and he spends approximately 1 year in each zodiac sign during his 12-year orbit around the sun. He keeps perfect time in the divine plan. This is them saying that Jupiter is a female. All of the planets are female, but this is how, you know, the Zoot does it, change things up a bit. The Hebrew name for Jupiter is the same as the word for justice, so you look that up. I think that's Justice Zodok or Zedek in Aramaic. To be aligned with Jupiter means to live in right relationship with the divine, to have integrity, mercy, and gratitude. Jupiter inspires us to believe it will all work out in the end. He encourages us to have faith, to be optimistic and expansive, to be open to possibilities and to explore. And Jupiter knows he's got a role to play in helping others too. His activities include advocating, giving support and encouragement, even wealth and abundance. Being in right relationship also means telling the truth. Jupiter also governs revelations and wise counsels and advice. Jovial energies, unskillfully or negatively applied, lead to one feel entitled, self-righteous, opportunities, pompous, overextended, or greedy. Jupiter and horoscope chart. Jupiter's energies pull us upward, aligning us with a larger plan for being in an astrological chart. Jupiter's presence gives clues to how you experience abundance and prosperity, gratitude, generosity, optimism, buoyancy, exploration, adventure, benevolence, good fortune, social opportunities, advising, working with counselors, wisdom, truth seeking, faith, trust, luck, gambling. Listen to reason. The letter R in the word nature does stand for Ra, royalty, reign, reality, reason, reasonability, rationale, radiance, rapture, responsibility, relatively, religion, rotation, revelation, etc. The sun god Ra, same as Tar, Jupiter, Uranus, and Zeus. In the sixth ether, representation and manifestation of the one supreme being, absolute nature. Nature is royalty, negative at one time and positive at another time. Nature is reality, material and physical matter, as well as matter in the form of energies and activities. All realities can be experienced by way of reason, reasonability, and rationale, except the primordial state or chaos of matter. Of course, rain refers to water production throughout all of nature, and radiance is the beauty of it all, together with law and order, plus tranquility and justice. Rapture is pleasures to be experienced in nature, and religion is an offspring of pantheism, and pantheism is an offspring of Noon, the radiant knowledge that shines in the minds of people like the suns shine in the space of the universes. A person cannot spare rotation and revolution of the universes and universe orbs without the letter R, and turning is what the universes and also their orbs do. Then too, the words revelation begins with R. Likewise, let it be known, R is let it be known. Nature, book 1, page 29. Listen to sound, right, reason. This right is showing the reader and the listeners alike that Jupiter, the letter R in her name, deals with revelation. It is no coincidence that this writer has, with Auntie Jupiter's help and NOOPOOH and NOON, rewrote all 22 books of Revelation, which can be found on fine9news.com. There's a picture of Auntie Jupiter on one of the covers. This writer has indeed made contact with the original Ennead called Planets Today. Jupiter is recognized in Noon sign as the orb of justice. She was the one who sent Afroo, Oonoo, and NOOPOOH's name, and she taught Afroo, Oonoo about religion, pantheism, and Noon, because that is what is in her zodiac house. It is her who teaches Tarkino NOOPOOH as well. Let this be known. Listen to reason. The mercy, forgiveness, and scapegoat dogma of religion obstructs justice. Justice is hard and also heavy, and if it is tempered with mercy and forgiveness and scapegoatism, it is not justice any longer, but compromise for transgressions instead. When justice becomes compromised, the compromise encourages further iniquities and transgression, and we end up with a world like we have today at the time of this writing. Compromise or transgression means that the violation of the laws of nature have not been accounted for in the right way, because accounting for transgressions is paying the penalty for iniquity required by the laws of nature. The only way to ultimately satisfy the laws of nature is for the guilty party himself or herself or his or her own kind pay the penalties required by natural law. Let it be remembered well. Listen to reason. When someone qualified determines by sound right reason what the law and penalty by nature are for a particular transgression, the degrees that the calculated person might differ from the exact law and exact penalty by nature is adjusted by the balancing powers in nature in one way or another, but always on the guilty person or his kind. During the moon cycle, scapegoatism, the guilty placed blame on the innocent, was common practice and permissible, but now that the moon cycle is over, that diabolical practice is not only ineffective but now causes backlash penalties on the person or persons guilty, and all the unaccounted for transgressions during the moon cycle must be paid for now. And this fact is the one of the major causes of Armageddon, the war of justice and balance. Let it be remembered always well. Nature Book 2, pages 158 to 159. Listen to reason. This writer has already explained how Jupiter is the planet of justice and has always been throughout time. Religion was created by our moon. That's why it was called the moon cycle. These quotes we read above showed us that Sepo and Jupiter were beefing for 6,000 years, 4,038 BC to February 5th, 1962. Take a look at this smack circle this writer had Quipu designed for me. Alright, so here we have a smack And here in the top half, which I showed in another video, each section of the smack, one of the Ennead was ruling. So we focusing on Jutah, which is the planet of justice. Well, I'm gonna go into that further later on, so don't worry about that. Just focus on that we got the smack circle up here, all right, at the top, in the top half, and then we got the zodiac signs at the bottom, all right. During the top half, all 9 picnic guard races were ruled by a 9-ball orb as shown in a previous video. All orbs have attributes. However, I wanted to focus on Auntie Jutah at this point. When the orbs, just like all of existence, reach the bottom half, things reverse over millions of years. So when you look closely at Jutah at the top, it says justice. The top is, now look at the bottom half and what it says. All right, that's injustice. We're gonna get to that in a moment. Okay. Injustice. Listen to sound like Cosmic Reason. If you watch the Equal Stood, the video on opposition of 180 degrees, which you can find on my YouTube, that goes into what was on one side, either have an equal opposite in the negative, or it becomes the equal opposite of its positive self millions of years later. It explained how what was positive on one side of the smack circle became negative on the opposite side of the smack circle. So when Auntie Jutah, Jupiter reached the last 6,000 years of that 3 million year epoch, the moon started and the moon cycle started and held back Jupiter's justice powers. Now that the moon cycle is over, it's Libra time. So that's what it wants you to understand. So over here in the Virgo section is directly opposite of Jutah on her end. Because Jutah so you got to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you count the zodiac signs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Virgo cycle is the 6th cycle, and instead of being a justice cycle on this end, it became an injustice cycle on this end. Listen to reason. The word Libra is short for liberation, and we all are at the beginning of the Libra cycle, which is the first third of the revolutionary cycle. The revolutionary cycle lasts for 18 million years, and the Libra cycle is the first 6,000 years of the revolutionary quarter. The moon cycle is the last 6,000 years of the Virgo cycle, and the sun cycle is the first 6,000 years of the Libra cycle. The word Libra is the acronym of the phrase "Let it be remembered always," and the word Libra does mean liberation, balance, equality, and justice, which is long overdue on Mother Planet Earth. It is true that NOOPOOH will help cause these values and qualities and standards to happen via atmospheric positive changes, positive knowledge, positive understanding, and positive wisdom in the powers of the one supreme being who is absolute eternal nature. Let it be remembered always, let it be known. Transcript of the audio tape, page 17. Here you got it's Libra time, comes out to 56. It's Justin's time, comes out to 56. Jupiter time, come out to 56. Hopefully y'all getting the picture. Listen to reason. Here's a word of encouragement to the intelligent, the nature-wise. You have the opportunity and ability to survive Armageddon. The climax war between rightness and wrongness, knowledge and ignorance, truth and falsehood, honesty and deception, justice and iniquity, and being intelligent will cause you to do just that. But you must also help the foolish duly help themselves by giving to them positive guidance in accord with the nature of nature as outlined in his presentation, and likewise this word too. The unintelligent, the foolish, the believers in scapegoatism and one-sided racism. The time has finally come for each and everyone to stand on his or her own feet and merits and be judged by nature and the laws thereof through natural processes of change from one major cycle, the evolutionary cycle, to another major cycle, the revolutionary cycle. Read the preceding paragraphs in this topic again and see figure 7 and its explanation in part 2 of this book for further clarity. The big circle turns counterclockwise and it is beginning to go upward on the right side now from point 3 south. See figure 6 in part 2 in accord with the laws of nature and the positive powers of nature called Noon and NOOPOOH. Let it be remembered, always let it be known. Nature of Nature, Book 1, pages 267 to 268. Let's read the previous quotes then. Listen to reason. Now that the moon cycle, the cycle of forgiveness and mercy is over, sacrificial lambs and also scapegoatism for the guilty and by the guilty are unacceptable and ineffective. In this Libra cycle, and therefore such sacrifices as the innocent paying penalties for the guilty will cause negative backlash and laws of nature, destruction of the guilty, because the moon cycle, which is the last part of the evolutionary cycle, is over, and every person, place, and thing existing are going into a revolution cycle now, the cycle of judgment and restoring balance to persons and things for the first part of the present cycle. The revolutionary cycle is the cycle of Libra. See figure 7 in part 2 of this novenary science for the evolutionary and revolutionary cycle shown. Let it be remembered always and let it be known. Listen to reason. According to sound right reason, who is NOOPOOH, and the smack circle of order, and also the cycle and season of the smack circle of order, the time and cycle for judgment and settlement of past and present iniquities is at hand, and not just because the messenger Afroo who says so, but also because all evidence and signs of the time say so, as pointed out in this science of 9 News. And the writer repeats, the guilty are those who have willfully broken the laws of nature and intentionally done wrong acts to others and never accounted for them by punishment, although the acts were unjustified. A nature-wise person is one who never unreasonably selfish and is therefore thereby always willing and ready to stand on his or her own merits, whether they be negative or positive, and is always willing and ready to do what is right to the best of his or her knowledge and capacity and ability. Let it be remembered always, let it be known. Nature, Book 1, pages 266 to 267. Listen to sound right reason. Ever since this writer returned back to YouTube April 5th, 2022, on Remy L. Mott's page, I did a YouTube video called Talking to NOOPOOH Breaks Down Nature Boy and the 3-Guard at 3-Guard TV. That was a month ago. This writer has repeatedly said and shown the exact date of the ending of evolution on February 5th, 2025, which is 2 years, 8 months, and 7 days from now. We all are being judged, and many of you are ignorant to this. Look at the gematria signs. See, 1962 to 2025 equals 9, 27, 27, 27, 27. February 5th, 1962 to February 5th, 2025. Look at that, 63, 63.
Today.
You can't lose. You got them 9s in there. You can't lose. Listen to sound right reason. This writer has indeed made contact with Auntie Jutah, the orb of justice, and he has requested that all those who has done him wrong unjustly for their own low desires of themselves and their spirit being suffered 9 times as much, since that's the number of the zodiac house Auntie Jutah resides in. This writer has given all that he has fought a whole cult over 8 years on Facebook, with little rest, defending Afroo, Jipu, and Sipu's legacy, the nature books, befriended so many Ethiopians along the way from 2007 to present, only for them all to betray this writer out of jealousy and insecurity. Some even went as far to bring up half-truths or even private conversation from years ago that had nothing to do with noon science. They even were victims of their own personal lust and broke their words and bonds and justified the wicked acts and didn't give any care about how it would affect the one that loves NOOPOOH and Noon more than all of them combined, and still showed up faithfully, giving this beautiful knowledge to you because it's yours, in hopes that you will wake up to your own mental delusions and see that you all are fake woke and are just deceivers of self and kind. So this writer cries out not out of ego or self-glorification, but out of pure heartache, because my people are still mentally dead and they hate me, spirit being wise, because they want to do their own thing. So if that is committing acts of unjustified behavior is what you want, then take all the pain and harm you have given to this writer because you don't want to follow sound right reason and have scapegoated this writer long enough. It's true and binding. If this writer Afroo was murdered by anyone whosoever or anything for any reason, by any means, he has requested and predicts that all enemies of the Ethiopian race be destroyed and their roots completely eliminated, and all enemies of justice and equality be terminated once and for all, leaving alive only the elite and elect, those innocent people definitely chosen to survive Armageddon by way of Noon and NOOPOOH. So leaders and rulers of this planet Earth, it is most wise and in the best interest of all concerned not only to allow this messenger of NOOPOOH nature to accomplish his mission and assignment by Almighty Nature in the name NOOPOOH, but likewise help him become a part of the process of surviving Armageddon, the war of ending the old and beginning the new. Let it be remembered, always let it be known. Nature, Book 2, page 269. Listen to reason. Before any of these writer's enemies, self-appointed, or those used to be very close to me, this writer is not saying he is Afroo or even similar in any way, or strives to be that great Ethiopian messenger of Almighty Nature chosen by Jupiter. This writer used the quote to show that Afroo requested from Auntie Juta, the planet of justice, to protect him and punish those who were his enemies. I being a Noonabu and following suit, because I have not just mankind and spirit enemies, but my biggest enemies look like me. So this writer has the right to want his name cleared of all the lies and slander, because his enemies really hate noon science. True to cosmic peace and wartime. Stay tuned for part 2.